I believe it, because I watch the TV by myself, because the TV in that room, TV that room. So the one I watch is the back, I watch it by myself. And I be back there laughing. I almost can't control myself. I said, these people, I don't believe it. And I'm talking to the TV. I don't believe what I just heard. Right. Frederick Douglass is alive and doing well. That's what, did you see it yet? Did he say it? He said it, the man said it?
Washington Post.
The Washington Post, Frederick Douglass. How's Fred doing? Oh, Fred, man. Fred, I talked to him last week. That's what he didn't say that, but he might as well. It sounded like.
Yeah, I just listened to the clip, yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like, hey, man, yeah, man. Yeah, old Fred. And that's not all, it's just a billion things. I can't even bring them up now. Somebody passed his test for him in school. That boy don't know nothing. It's not, okay, we don't have no problem. Y'all remember years ago, some time back, I said somebody hired him. Just like I said somebody hired that police the other day. Okay. There's a lot of things, some people I just talked to. This just the other night, you see, if I show you my phone, you'll see you can go like, we talk all the time. And he said about this, you can imagine what I'm talking about. He said, Imam Musa, I just wanted to let you know about that assault. He said that was 9 hours after, something like that, because we're ahead of it. He said, we had something to do with that. And I said, don't say what it is, just let me know. And remember, it's November 4th. It's Marg Bar Amrika Day. When they took over the U.S. Embassy, that's when I got assaulted. Remember the dates? That's Marg Bar Amrika Day. That's November the 4th. November the 4th, when I got attacked at the Masjid, is Marg Bar Amrika Day. I'm not going to even say, I told them, don't even let me know. When y'all invite me over next time, you can tell me in person. They had, what I'm hitting at is this. You know, in governmental affairs, they have all kinds of things going on. When the revolution happened, they had Savakis, Savak from Iran, the intelligence network, yeah. The torture network, we call it. You had tons of their agents here infiltrating the students. They're student leaders, they're Savakis. You don't think to see it. Just like the Shah ain't gonna let nobody from his country go nowhere and cause a lot of trouble. Just like the United States ain't gonna let, leaderless resistance. The white folks are so sure that they're like 20, 30 years behind us, but they are sure. Louis Bean wrote articles on it. You cannot have a pyramid structure in the United States. You can't. They won't allow it. So you have to have alternative, right? You have to have alternative structures. You don't give up. You don't quit. So we're the only one that have had inside the United States alternative structures. And we defeated them right there in the open battlefield. And we said we're going to have this program. It's going to show you how we have made U.S. government agents expose themselves. Think about Oakland. Everybody's exposed. And you're testing all the time. You're testing all the time. You don't even have to think about the test, because Allah gonna spark you to say something. So I could say, almost, I'd love to hear something from Sister Zakiya. She was a nice lady. And 3 days later, I sure hate that I not ran out on you, but left you to everybody. Something like that. And I'm ready to go right now. Back to Oakland, I'm ready to go right now. I called, I haven't called back because I wanted to see how this, not see, but how detailed are the threads. Right now, this is one of those, it's always 24/7, but this is a minute to minute, right now, this minute to minute to minute. You know what I mean? It's like we're not only watching, but we're doing little things. And they're all important to them. They're all important to them. So, back to the original thing. We're representative history, and we know it. We've been a target for over 50 years, and we know it. We already know that. So what we have to do, what we had to do, I'll get to the third stage later on. What we had to do, we've already done that. With Oakland, we forced everybody on the surface, and people would ask, how do you have the patience to put up with this stuff this long? Why? When we go back to Oakland, we go back to Oakland as the expert on police brutality, right? I done showed y'all some of the paperwork from being arrested, this, that, da. You combine that with the modern times. You combine that with the recent times. We're the experts on police brutality in the United States. We are. They can't put nobody on TV, right? That's had more experience with police departments than me. That's just the way that is. That's the way that is the actual reality. And it brings it up to the last day. To a little while ago. And it don't look too nice.
No.
That don't look too nice. That's bad. And there's Mukhtar. You can see Mukhtar.
That looks like slavery.
It's unbelievable.
Right, like he's a black slaver and he's selling you off to the white people.
He's selling it off to the white man. There he is, boss.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be a Muslim. Who would do that? What reason do they have to do that? Right? Imam Musa using up the believers' funds. That's what he wrote on one of the things. $24,000 for the house. We went out there and paid $50,000. Remember that? We had on our paperwork. We had to pay $50,000. They would leave grass and all that, and not go to fix it, not do nothing, and I tell them go check that out. No. And they sent a bill. $22,901, and if you don't pay it, we're going to sell the property. That's what they would do. When they would be raising money, I'd zip on out there. Here's a cashier's check for $35,000 and all this kind of stuff like that. You see what I mean? And then I have statements from Housing Authority, Section 8. It wasn't much, but 1 year's, say it's $15,000 a year. Now I have an account in my name, my slave name. Before, I never had an account. I had 6, 7 accounts. I never had an account in my name because I never had my money. If I gave a talk somewhere and people donated 1,000, 5,000, 20,000, whatever they donated, I just put it in that account. And I spent it all on all the stuff around here. All the time. All the time. So, what reason would they have to be upset about? And then I got to think, 2013, 2014, it says, and then on the back of the check, it says what account, it went into. I said, well, that adds up to 30,000. You said I've spent 24,000. So, what are you talking about? I don't care. What about all the other stuff that happened in Oakland? Nobody cares. Nobody responds. So our job there was to do what we did. They'll all have to answer to the public, They'll have to just answer for it. Because they show no signs of, tawbah, but it's to Allah, no, ain't to us. But they don't show any signs, right? No remorse, no nothing. So, we have all the credibility. Can you imagine? And then we come from the best-known family from back then. In the city, it's not only me, it's my father, my sisters, they're all big in the church and all of this stuff. I remember one time, we live in a modest house, so my father was old and he had a checkered shirt on and he was in a walker or something. And my mother's circle meeting, was there. And one of the ladies said to the other, because it looked pitiful, they said, oh, we gotta help this family. The lady looked at it and said, them the richest niggas in town. Because the other ladies, they all know everybody in Oakland know that. But this lady who was just new in the group, then she said, these are the richest niggas in town, Like between my sister, my father, and me, we'd be rolling. My brother was a professional baseball player and all of that. But just imagine, Willie Stargell and all them guys was my family friends, like my brother's friends, they all played baseball. My brother played for the Phillies. But you know what? There was an article in the Philadelphia newspaper. He's the only man that went from the minor leagues up to the major leagues for one day. You know why he was there one day? Habits. Not drug habits, nothing like that, but, stuff. And then you can get to have habits if in the days you played and that ball you played all up in Boise Cascade, and up in Montana. And they'd have little articles that if the team stayed in hotels, you couldn't stay in them with the team. It'll affect you a little bit, so you might start going out and find something to do at night. And then it gets to be habitual. So pretty soon, Joe Morgan and them guys, they couldn't play as good as he did. Wow. No, Joe Morgan was his best friend. Yeah, Joe Morgan was his best friend. We all know them guys, No, Joe Morgan, that was my brother's best friend. Okay, so Joe got mad one time. I don't want to go, but his car, in those days, people drove Cadillacs, so he had an Eldorado down at the Cadillac place, and my brother was busy, so my brother asked me, take Joe down to the Cadillac place, and I took him in that big, pretty Brougham, and it had Hank Green's on it. He almost wanted to say, what are you doing with this? I'm Joe Morgan, and I'm that, right? He was mad, he was burning up. He wasn't physically mad, but he was thinking, I'm a big shot, and you're a commoner, you know what I mean, something like that. But anyway, let's get back to, look. When we return to Oakland, we return as experts on the FBI, NSA, Homeland Security, and all that. We are. We're also the experts on what's wrong with the Muslims. We're the experts on it. It don't make no difference whether we're in their newspapers or speaking at their programs. See, the thing about it, you have to know who you are. Bump what other people know. That's, like my idea way back in the early 80s was after high school graduation, each kid should get a world tour, and then they should have to stand in the auditorium for 1 hour with everybody in the auditorium whispering about them, pointing and giggling, looking at them. Why? After they find out it ain't nothing, they all just giggling, because they'd be getting mad. You talking about me? Just think about it. This is what I was saying. This is back in the early 80s. To teach people, get a look at the world and see how it is with your own eyes, so you have some understanding of what's going on in the world, and then to know people. Let them talk and giggle and point at you and stand there for an hour. You can't do nothing. You can't say, you can't do nothing. You just have to stand there and take it. Then when it's over, you'll realize that ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. That was my idea then. I think it will still be helpful. But what it do is it lets you realize, hey man, y'all and what you say and what you think and what have you, if it's that nickel and dime stuff, it don't count. You do it all you want. But this is what I'm gonna do, and this is where I'm going. And when you do that, and you live a life of adventure, I want to digress a minute. You know, what other people live, a static life. I've lived, still living, a life of great adventure. The first part, when I'm just growing up, the white man kept me in the police station and a little jail. But I learned more than I did in jail than I would have learned on the street. And it was at a time when it wasn't important. I'm growing up as a kid. I ain't gonna do nothing but ride bicycles and stuff like that. I ain't did a whole lot of time when I was grown. I did 4 or 5 years. Other people do. I mean, I did about 10-something years, all in all, but that was when I was a kid, mostly. As grown, maybe, let's say 5 years, all in all. That ain't nothing. My friends, they be knocking down time, 20 years, 18 years, 40 years. Life, you don't never see them again. That's time. That's when you don't get a chance to do what you want to do. But imagine, when I'm out of jail, when I got out when I was 20, by the time I was 25, I was the richest guy in town, had all these cars. I did everything that everybody wished. I mean, they would have wished to do 1/10 of that. If I got 10 cars, they just would have liked to have one. You know what I mean? If I had 10 businesses, they would have just liked to have one business, one car, one, right? And then everybody writing about Africa and this, that, another. I go over and go to all the spots, everything you read in the newspaper, and get a chance to go out on safari by yourself and travel all around, and with groups and everything. That's adventure. I don't know anybody been on a safari. A real safari, like the safari, you go out safari. I've been on safari before. Can you imagine? A real safari. Not that you have to go on a safari, because in those days you could be driving down the highway and you'd see the big tall giraffe just walking out. You say, look at them things, will you? I hope it's still like that, but anyway. And you go out to a crater, it have all the animals running around, and then you get a chance to learn people too. Africans, Indians, all the groups of people. And you're different. How the Indian in Africa in those days treated the African is one way. How they treated African Americans is totally different. Totally different. Okay. How many, just think about it. How many African Americans been involved, or actually started, a cocaine smuggling operation from Colombia? No, that sounds easy, but it's not easy. You got a production, to buy it, purchase. You got to be smart, because if you come with a lot of money and they got a big product and it costs $20 in Colombia to get a nigga killed in those days, you got to be very lucky or very smart. Now, I thought I was smart in those days, but I found out, thinking about it, that I was lucky, that Allah had a mission for me, that the Colombians, and I thought I was just making them like me and making them think you do it with me, we're gonna get big, which we did. So, and have the police there, and they helping, you know what I mean? They think this is our sucker, we're running this show, and you're saying, yeah, that's fine. But then you're doing something with them, and on the other side too. And when they come to get all their money back, you say, there you go. And then you're going off with your own money that you've been making on the side. And it's an adventure. I don't think it's one African American ever been to Machu Picchu. You probably don't know where it is. You ever see that? It's a city on top of a mountain. Can you type up Machu Picchu, Peru? Lost city of the Incas. That's what it is, Lost City. This is a place where all the nobles, when the Spanish came, the conquistadors, the nobles, when they, you see the city?
The city carved into